When writing in academia, we know that there are certain expectations that we must meet, making all of the genres we write in academic genres. And this video lecture is going to teach you about the academic genre of, you guessed it, argument. Now, when it comes to argument, there are many different perspectives, different ways in which you can go about forming an argument. So we are going to be specifically focusing on the Aristotelian type of argument, which is to be explained here shortly. Now, when it comes to argument, with this type of it in mind, you're going to define it as convincing your audience of your viewpoint by persuasively presenting supporting evidence. Let's go through each of these 4 pieces of this definition to understand exactly what that means to us. Now, when taking an Aristotelian approach to argument, the first thing that is very important to consider is always going to be your audience. This is, who are you convincing? Who are you trying to convince? Who are you convincing? When you are trying to convince a 4-year-old, you're going to say a lot different things than when you're trying to convince a 40-year-old. Think about it. When you're trying to argue an idea, you got to know who your audience is. Otherwise, you probably won't be very successful. Now, the next concept that we are going to need to take into consideration is going to be this idea of viewpoint. Now, viewpoint is simply a synonym for words that you might know, like claim, perspective, or my favorite, opinion. And, well, if you have watched my lecture videos about academic essay, you know that an opinion is simply your thesis. You need to have a focus. If you were just arguing about anything and everything and there is no viewpoint, no opinion, we don't even know what you're talking about. You're just rambling. So you need to have a focused thesis. Next, when it comes to Aristotelian argument, this persuasively presenting is where things change depending on the type of argument you do. So in our case, we Aristotelian appeals, we are going to be persuasively presenting by the Aristotelian appeals. Now, if you're not familiar with this idea, this is the concept of logos, pathos, and ethos. If you're not familiar with this, don't worry. You're about to get a bunch of videos covering each of these ideas individually in regards to argumentative academic writing. Now, finally, we have our supporting evidence. Supporting evidence is simple, easy. These are the body paragraphs of our essay. Now, when it comes to supporting evidence in academic, argumentative, Aristotelian writing, what this might look like is simply experiences. That can be supporting evidence. So can observations that you have made, as long as they're relevant to the audience you are convincing. And then finally, what makes this academic argument is, some of y'all might have guessed it, research. Therefore, when it comes to argument, you also need to consider that research is going to be a big part of it. But that information, how and why, is going to be explained in the following videos talking about the Aristotelian appeals. So for now, understand that the academic genre of argument is simply convincing some people of your opinion through persuasively presenting information.